back with another video for you today. I'm trying something a little different today. Recently I came to realize that I have my lights on too high, even though I really like them really bright. I think in my videos I've been squinting a lot. I don't know if you've noticed that or not, but I've actually lowered my lights today, and I'm trying and hoping that the lights are okay for you guys. If not, let me know. But today it's all about Dunhill's signature collection fragrances. I've been wanting to smell these since 2019, well, like last year when they first came out, and I never got around to finding them anywhere. And so I was recently on Dunhill's website doing some research on Dunhill's Century fragrance, and I just remembered that those fragrances, the signature collection fragrances, came out. So I searched online and I found them at FragranceEx, and they were $110.49 each. Couple of them were testers, unfortunately, but this is blind buys. I had not smelled these before, and I'm going to tell you all about them and smell them on camera for the first time. So if you want to find out about the Dunhill signature collection fragrances, which includes Arabian Desert, British Leather, Indian Sandalwood, and Moroccan Amber, then please stay tuned. So much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. That's right, today I have lowered the lights, and I'm going to make them a little lower going forward, hoping that it's bright enough for you guys to see, because as I said, I've been squinting a lot because I have a little bit of a problem with one of my eyes, and it was really like getting not blurry, but watery with the big bright lights. So I'm just trying out something a little lower to see if it'll work. I think it will work. Anyway, as I said, today is all about Dunhill's signature collection fragrances: Arabian Desert, British Leather, Indian Sandalwood, Moroccan Amber. So this is the first time. I've never smelled these fragrances before, and I'm going to do them in camera for you. But if this is your first time tuning into my channel and you love watching fragrance reviews, finding out about new fragrances, discovering new brands, and of course participating in giveaways, and still haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. I have been a fan of Dunhill's fragrances for quite some time, and I'm drawing a blank because there was a time in the early 2000s, maybe even in the late 90s, that I was wearing some Dunhill fragrances, and then I kind of lost track and gave up. And then it came back around 2015 with Dunhill Icon, which I thought was a great fragrance. Then Dunhill Century came out about 3 years later, maybe 4 years later, I think. 3, something like that. And then these were announced last year, and they came out last year, and I never found them anywhere. So I never got to sample them, and I'm very, very curious about them because they're kind of like luxury niche styling offerings from Dunhill. But if you go to their website, Dunhill's website, they're only $130 for each bottle, and that's not bad for niche styling fragrances. But I found them on FragranceEx for $110.49 each. Unfortunately, 2 of them were testers. They came like this. That's one bottle. This is another. So what we got here is Moroccan Amber in here. This one is Indian Sandalwood. And then the other 2 are in their regular boxes, like this. I'm trying to, I can't really see, but there are these 2 bottles right there, or in boxes. So let's go ahead and start. Let's start with the these boxes. So this is Indian Sandalwood, and this is what the bottle looks like. So I love sandalwood and fragrances, so let's hope this one turns out to be more like the creamy kind of sandalwood that I like, that I was mentioning in that video that featured Dunhill Century when we were talking about the Le Labo Santal 33 along with the Louis Vuitton Au Hasard. So let's hope that this one doesn't smell like that Dunhill Century, and this is more like a creamy, milky sandalwood. So the bottle is similar to Dunhill Icon fragrance. Obviously it's glass. So this is a tester, and it does say tester on it, as you can see. And I've also spoken about testers, buying testers. Don't be afraid of buying them, and I have no problem with it. And let's smell how this one smells. Alright, 3 sprays for this one. So this one, according to the notes, includes sandalwood, Orris butter, patchouli, carrot, Cypriol. This one's created by Carlos Benaim, and he's a very well-known perfumer, and he's created fragrances for Frederic Malle, among many other brands. So, okay, this is definitely the creamy kind, not that choppy kind of crystallized woods kind of experience that's in Santal 33 and of course their own fragrance Century. It's quite milky, soft woods with a kind of a slight buttery powderiness, so I guess it's coming from that Orris butter, and of course there's patchouli in here, and you can pick up that little bit of Cypriol that's also in Century, their Century fragrance. Nice, this is really, really nice. Okay, so this one is Moroccan Amber. So the juice is a little darker of this one. Again, this one's a tester. As you can see, I don't know if you can read that down there, it's a tester. But Moroccan Amber is created by Gino Percontino. Now, I don't know who this perfumer is, so I guess we'll see. Moroccan Amber is amber, saffron, coffee tree. Not sure how coffee tree smells like. Immortelle, ginger, coriander, hazelnuts. Let's see how this is. So the first one I had to spray a couple times, and it sprayed after the third time. This one sprayed immediately. Okay, soft amber, but wow, very saffron-y. There's some dry elements in there. There's a kind of aromatic touches with coriander. Ginger gives it a little zinginess, but the fusion of all the notes together is quite lovely. Now, I don't know how the coffee tree smells like. I doubt it smells like, you know, brewed coffee. So I get some aromatic touches in here. Most likely it's from the coriander and the zingy spiciness from the ginger. So there's something in there that's very, very unique as far as the smell goes, and that's probably coming from that coffee tree note that's supposedly in here. So let's try this next one. Now this one is the full presentation. Again, these were $110.49 on FragranceEx. If you wanted to pick them up, I have a link in the info box where you can buy them from. But this box kind of reminds me of Tom Ford's boxes. So this one is Arabian Desert. It's the darkest juice I've seen so far, and let's see how this one is. Arabian Desert is created by Alexandra Monet. Now this is another perfumer that I'm not too familiar with. In fact, I haven't heard of Alexandra Monet or Gino Percontino, so I don't know what fragrances they've created in the past, but the other two fragrances, the Indian Sandalwood, the Carlos Benaim, and there's another one, British Leather, are created by well-known perfumers who I'm familiar with. So let's try the Arabian Desert. All right. I like the presentation. I like the bottles. They do kind of remind me of, you know, what do you call it, a microphone a little bit. And then the fact that this one compared to the Dunhill Icon is, what do you call it, bare instead of having the entire look of the cap all the way down. So it gives it a unique twist. And I'm also kind of pleasantly surprised at the price point of these fragrances. Suggested retail $130, and they're kind of like, you know, niched styling focused, which I find to be very well priced. Especially so far, my favorite out of the two that I sampled is the Indian Sandalwood. I like that one a lot. So let's see how Arabian Desert. The Arabian Desert seems very dry, and I need to spray it again. I think I might have blown up my nose because it doesn't seem like it's jumping out too much. It's there. It's pretty strong though. So this one definitely you can pick up the oud. It's very oudy with a nice combo of saffron. What's standing out most is the amber, the incense, the saffron, and the oud, I guess. You do pick up some light hints of rose in there as well. And then I think there's a little bit of some citrusy something in there, like maybe perhaps bergamot, and it's nice. It's a nice one. I think it doesn't jump out as much, or maybe it's just so strong that my nose gets anosmic to it. Sometimes that's an issue with some fragrances that I can't smell. I feel like this could be a very, very strong offering, and I should probably smell it on its own. But from what I'm smelling on its own, it's quite a nice release. And still, my favorite is the Indian Sandalwood. I love the creaminess. But this one also It reminds me of other oud and kind of amber, incense, saffron kind of focused with hints of rose. So it doesn't seem like it's like overly unique. Just having, I guess, a collection in a designer's, you know, fragrance collection that focuses on these very popular styles that they can offer to their customers in their stores and things like that. Now, we don't have a Dunhill store here in San Francisco, and definitely I was able to get these online, and this is completely blind. And I think I'm enjoying the quality of the fragrances, and once again, the sandalwood, the Indian sandalwood is my favorite so far. So let's see how British leather turns out. So British leather, again, it's in the box like this. Very Tom Ford-esque. Now again, I'll say it again. These seem very good quality for the price point. $130. Suggested retail is pretty low. I mean, you get Maison Margiela fragrances for $126. So I don't know how these prices are so low, but I guess they were able to do it. Alright, so British leather is created by Pierre Negrin, and Pierre Negrin is pretty well known in the perfume industry. He's created a bunch of stuff. He's created some stuff for Amouage, among many other brands. So let's see how this one is. This is the second darkest juice. Arabian Desert is the darkest, and Indian Sandalwood is the lightest, I believe, from what I remember seeing juice-wise. Interesting. This is my least favorite so far. It's very... There's something really weird happening in here. I probably should wear this on, but for me, smelling it, it's not very pleasant. So, So this is has notes of mate. The leather seems very kind of rough and animalic. Vetiver is in there, black pepper, lavender. It's all kind of intermingled and creating something very strongly pungent. I'm also starting to pick up patchouli under there. It's coming through. This one is my least favorite. Sadly, I'm a fan of Pierre Negrin, but this one I don't care for it. I think I have to test this one out a lot to appreciate it. It's pretty rough. It's pretty strong. It actually jumps out more than the Arabian Desert. The Arabian Desert, even though it smells strong, it seems subdued. This one's definitely jumping, like really coming at me. And the combination's not really working. It's a very rough leather. So if you like leather, very rough leather, very sort of bordering animalic leather, it's not for me, I think. It's different. It's really different. I have smelled a leather like this though. It's somebody that I have a fragrance of, has this kind of like it's almost like a green leather, and that greenness is coming from the mate note, and it's a bit rough. It's not animalic like you're smelling an animalic oud, like the fragrance I reviewed yesterday, Dead of Night. It's a different kind of animalic. It's just more like burned leather that you're actually, you know, when an animal is getting skinned, the skin burning, kind of like that's what I'm getting. It's a bit rough for me, this one, but I feel like it'll, you know, like tone down when it's kind of dried. So yeah, so this one's not my least favorite. Let's try the Indian Sandalwood again. I really like the sandalwood. This sandalwood is the kind of sandalwood I was telling you guys about in that video for Santal 33, where I said, you know, that sandalwood in Samsara from Guerlain was such a great sandalwood, and I was only 19 years old and I bought a bottle of Samsara for my mom so that I could smell that fragrance. So this sandalwood kind of is a little more masculine, but it really does remind me of that sandalwood, but I feel like this one's even creamier. There's lots of creamy, buttery, syrupy experience. It's almost like a sandalwood amber to me. That's what it acts like. So I feel like this one's my favorite. It's funny that the two testers are my favorites, I think. That one and the Moroccan Amber. It's my second favorite. It's almost a tie. It's interesting. It's Moroccan Amber, and Andy Tower Perfumes has a fragrance called Lavender Desert Moroccan, which is an amber inspired by the Moroccan air of the desert in Morocco. So it's interesting. They're nothing alike to begin with. This one's definitely a syrupy amber. It's very syrupy, flowy amber, you know, like a molasses. The Tower Perfumes is a very dry and dusty amber, so they're nothing alike. And this one has lots of sweetness as well, unlike the Tower Perfumes. It's sweet, but it's not like sweet like this one. So this is my second favorite. It's Moroccan Amber from Dunhill. Let's try the Arabian Desert again. You know, I like the Arabian Desert, and that would be my third favorite. That's the darkest juice, as you can see. But this British leather, oh, it's toned down. It has toned down, but it's kind of like a green peppery leather. Very odd. That one doesn't do it for me. Darn it. Blind buys not always are perfect. If I had smelled this in a store, I would never have bought it. It's not my cup of tea. It's just a weird smell to me. The leather, as I said, smells like it's a charred, freshly skinned leather off the animal. That's it's charred, and then you're mixing up with this like weird tea mate note, green, very, very green. There's lots of black pepper. The black pepper is strong, and there's no sweetness to it, I guess is what I'm saying, because all the notes, when you look at them, they come off very, very savory. So it needs a little sweetness to kind of like calm it down. It just becomes really rough, and perhaps that's what British leather is supposed to smell like. But that's definitely not for me. It's not bad fragrance, it's just not for me, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's my thoughts on these 4 fragrances from the House of Dunhill. This is from their signature collection fragrances. They are suggested retail $130 on the Dunhill website. They are 100 ml bottles, EDP. But as I said, I found them on FragranceEx for $110.49. I thought they were a great deal. Cheaper than buying EDT, Maison Margiela fragrances. Very niche styling. Indian Sandalwood is amazing. I love that one. I would wear this one. It's very, very cozy. If you like milky fragrances, this one's definitely on the milky side. It's really, really lovely. That's the Indian Sandalwood. That's definitely a keeper, followed by the Amber. So check them out if you guys are interested. Again, they're nice valued fragrances. I think once FragranceEx runs out, the discounts will be done. Then you'll have to resort to getting them from the Dunhill website. But I feel like they're definitely worth it. For $110 for a nice, creamy, warm sandalwood, the Indian Sandalwood's definitely worth it. If you guys like sandalwood, that one I recommend highly. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Otherwise, please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.